Hello, I see you. Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast with Grindberg and Bigz and Schultzy. We're going to give you our starts this week. Producer! Welcome to the Week 7 edition of the Fantasy Forecast with Grindberg and Bigz and Schultzy. We got sky-high starts, bold plays, breakout matchups, and high-upside names ready to blow up your scoreboard. Murdoch is psyched for this, and we're going to get into it. So every week, we give you starts and sits, and I try and give you my sits with guys who are in. If it's a quarterback, top 12. If it's a wide receiver, inside the top 36 wide receivers. If it's a running back, inside the top 24. And then my starts, I try and give you guys who are outside of those levels. And so that's where I'm coming at this from. And I think these guys are pretty similar because, like, I want to say, oh, fire up Tet McMillan. Don't call him Tet Aroa. I can't believe I just did that. But he's already in the top 24, so that's not what I'm doing here. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. I think anybody as a wide receiver is in the top 24 with how many are gone down. Is there even 24 wide receivers left in the league to play games?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, well, he's like Superman. He's like,
he's wide receiver 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, he is the man, and we're excited to see what he can do. To end the season off because he's on record pace here, folks. Now, we like talking about our starts because it gets us anxious, it gets us ready for the weekend, and we just got through our sit show. So if you haven't tuned into that, be sure to check that one out. It was aired yesterday, but today is the starts. Bigz, let's start with you. Who's one of your starts of the week this week, bud?
All right, so digging into the data, I came up with a guy. He's a slot receiver, and he's shown some increase in his target share, and he's going up against the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans allow almost 20 points per game to wide receivers, and they just got torched last week by Trey Tucker of the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm starting a guy I like to call Pop Dougals, Demario Douglas from the New England Patriots, lovingly known as Pop. He's going to get work. Drake May is coming into his own. Pop Douglas is the slot receiver that Drake May is looking for, and Tennessee, their defense is not good. It's not good at all, and so I'm starting Pop Douglas in my flex spots because I think he's going to eat this week.
Wow. Okay. That's a good tip. I mean, it's hard to gauge who's going to be successful. I mean, last week Pop went off, but so did Booty. And then the week before we saw, Stephon Diggs go off. So if you got a Kingling on this, it'll be an important one for us to maybe follow tail on here.
Diggs is banged up this week.
Yeah. So that's some more information that will help us lead that decision. So yeah, good on you, Bigz. That's a good sleeper pick here. That if you're struggling at that wide receiver position, not a bad scenario to go by here. Schultz, you got anything to add to that about Pop? You like that offense?
Oh yeah, dude. I like Stephon Diggs a lot last week. He was a slight push off away from a nice game, but if he's going to be banged up and hey, dude, Drake May's just been good enough. We can support two receivers here, man. Like, it's happening.
All right. Okay, well, I got a juicy matchup as well for my wide receiver start of the week here, and that is Lad McConkey. And it's been a tough year for Lad, considering how much we mentioned his name on this show last year. It has been pretty quiet and whispers. His name hasn't been, broadcasted the way we have liked, but now, after a really good week last week, he's coming off one of his best performances in a while, 7 of 9 targets, 100 yards and a touchdown. And, he sealed the deal over the Dolphins in that nail biter of a game, 29-27. He showed up. He showed he could step up, with Quinton Johnson's sideline, and that could be the case again this week. There is talk about him potentially playing, but even so, McConkey is now in a situation where he's been a playmaker and he's got that wide receiver 2 upside. Now he's got a game against the Colts to present an inviting, target-enriched environment for McConkey. Indy ranks among the worst defenses against wide receivers, allowing the 4th most fantasy points to wide receivers. So, yeah, this is a good situation for Ladd, and coming off one of his best games of the year. I love this situation here. I could see him scoring, and Ladd McConkey, folks, is a start of the week for me, and it feels good saying it.
Hashtag dads for Ladd. And also
Love it.
Gadsden Jr. Around Gadsden is starting to flash. So hashtag dads for Ladd and Gad.
And Gads. All right, Schultzy, who do you got as your first start of the week?
For me, my first start of the week is Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm just messing. I'm going out on a limb. It's going to be Harold Fannin Jr. And, hey, this guy's been really good so far to start his rookie campaign, especially at a position where that's tough to make an immediate impact. We're looking at a game this week where we might not have David Njoku. That's a big deal, especially for a team that's using 2 tight ends and knock us down to 1. Like, we love to see that for, individual fantasy stuff. We hate seeing teams get muddied by multiple dudes. So if no Njoku, boom, there's a big plus for Fannin right away. I love that he's played 79% plus snaps in the last 3 weeks, every single week. And 2 of those games are full games from Njoku. So, like, he's just proving to the team and the coaches that he's got to be on the field and he's an impact player. If you're looking at like targets, receptions and stuff, he's seen 4+ in every game. But if you look at how this has happened, they had a 3-game stretch against Green Bay, Detroit, and Minnesota, all pretty, tough defenses. And those were the games that he really kind of was down on. But, against in plus matchups, he went 7 for 63 against the Bengals, 5 for 48 against the Ravens, and 7 for 81 against the Steelers last week, which wasn't even necessarily like a plus matchup. You love what you see out of Harold Fannin so far, and he's kind of growing that chemistry with Dylan Gabriel, even though Dylan Gabriel probably ain't it, but he's thrown to Harold Fannin, and the Dolphins defense picked on him before. They're not good. They give up the 6th most points to tight ends, so Harold Fannin's going to have a week.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy looking at Harold Fannin's target share. He had 6, 4, and 10 the last 3 weeks. And then you look at David Njoku, who had 3, 9, and 6 the last 3 weeks. They're throwing the ball like 15 times at tight ends, and they're hitting both of them. And both of them are startable. I remember talking about Harold Fannin in the preseason and saying David Njoku gets hurt every year and misses time. And so Harold Fannin is a guy that you want to prioritize in your drafts because he's going to make it onto the field at some point. And he's making it onto the field, but at the same time as Njoku. So if Njoku doesn't play, that's even better for Fannin. Shout out to Harold Fannin's family. They were very nice people.
Yeah, we talked about Fannin on the waiver wire show a couple times this year. Most recently that last week, because some people dropped them because of the dip and they saw Njoku come up. So yeah, let's continue that on and let's get into our spotlights here. Our spotlight starts of the week, and we're going to start off with Bigz.
So at a certain point, there are calls that we make where we have to rely on data and analysis and deep dives and checking out numbers and stuff like that. And then at some points, there are very easy calls to make, such as start any offensive player who's playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Pittsburgh Steelers are playing against the Cincinnati Bengals this week, and Jaylen Warren is back from injury. Start him. It's a no-brainer. It's like so easy. The Bengals are giving up the most points to running backs in all of the football game. 26 points to running backs. Tennessee Titans are second with 22.7. That's a roughly 4-point 3.3, 4-point disparity in how bad the Bengals have been on defense. And I don't know how sold you are on Kenneth Gainwell. You can probably start them both, but with Jaylen Warren back and him being the primary running back in that offense, yes, it's an Arthur Smith offense, but still, Jaylen Warren is efficient enough. He's just outside the top 24 running backs with 0 touchdowns. So if he gets into the end zone, that's an extra boost. He's doing it with efficiency, and so yeah. Fire up Jaylen Warren this week.
Love it. Love the call. I mean, yeah, like you mentioned, the run defense is not very good there. So, yeah, another run defense isn't very good is in my spotlight. So let's hit that one up, Schultzy. So I'm going to tell everybody to give a great push on the back and a big start to Quinshon Judkins this week. He's firmly established himself as a fantasy asset in his rookie season, and week 7 brings a smash matchup that could really boost his value after a tough outing against the Steelers last week where he just managed 36 yards on 12 carries and no catches. Judkins gets a golden opportunity to bounce back against the Miami Dolphins, one of the worst run defense in the league. They give up a solid, over 140 yards per game on the ground, and Judkins is averaging right now 76 yards per game, and I think this is going to be a good opportunity for him to boost that number up quite a bit. But the Dolphins, they gave up a really big game to Rico Dowdle. They also gave up a big game to Kamani Vidal. These are 2 guys that you were pretty much getting off of the waiver wire the last 2 weeks and smash plays. When you get a guy with a talent like Quinshon Judkins, I just think that this could be a game where this is a smash play, and we're going to be talking about Quinshon Judkins potentially being a top 5 running back of the week this week because Miami has been very fortuitous to opposing running backs. So, yeah, get your engine started, give them ready to go, and make Quinshon Judkins a starter in your lineup. Set it and forget it. This is the golden opportunity, and it's the perfect time to strike.
I think the kids say the Miami Dolphins have been buns.
Yeah, this matchup is so juicy that, I mean, you said it. Like, we've watched dudes that you can pick up off the waivers absolutely crush them. And the matchup is why I said start Rico a couple weeks ago. And running backs just get chunks and chunks and chunks against this team right up the middle. They cannot do anything. And that's the one thing we've seen Quinshon destroy is runs up the middle and that vision and burst. And yeah, dude, this could get lethal.
They're buns.
Hope so. All right, Schultz.
I just want to say real quickly as a preamble to Schultzy's start call this week, how cool it is that things change week by week, and I'll just leave it at that.
He's a yo-yo for you, Schultzy, because you started him a couple of weeks ago, you sat him last week, and now you're starting him again. So let's hit it up, buddy.
So, yeah, I have talked about this guy a ton, right? And I said, bench him last week. Like, here's all your warning flags. And he was god-awful. But I felt the need to come back and say start him again because...
Didn't he have minus points?
He had minus passing yards, like net passing yards. If you include sacks, he had minus 10 net passing yards, I think. So, yeah, it's Justin Fields again. And he got crushed by the Broncos. Like, the exact thing I said, it happened. The Broncos get after the quarterback. You get after Justin Fields, and he's cooked. And boom, that was the recipe for disaster. And he was just awful. In a pretty standard scoring league, I'm looking at 4.9 points. And yeah, that's not going to cut it for your running back 2 or a flex guy. Like, it was just god awful.
It's not cutting it for your defense special teams.
Right. It was atrocious. So the reason I'm bouncing back here is he's got the Panthers, and now they've been like pretty middle of the pack in like fantasy points to like skill position, like yardage. Like you can get after these guys, but it's not been anything like explosive like when we talk about the Dolphins defense, right? But here's the thing. They have a league low 5 sacks as a defense. And on the complete flip side of getting after Justin Fields, if you aren't going to get after Justin Fields, he's going to run all over you. So I don't care if Garrett Wilson's out. I don't care that Josh Reynolds becomes the next guy up. I don't care. Justin Fields is going to struggle through the air. He's not going to be great, and that's the book on him. But this guy's rushing for 75 plus this weekend, and he could very easily get in the end zone. Just complete lack of pass rush on the Panthers side, and that's going to give him time to scan the field. And then when he realizes his guys who are out running routes stink and they aren't open, he's taken off. So I know it sucked. I know it was awful. And if you started him, he burned you so bad. But I'm very confident he's turning it around this week, and it's going to be another good week for Justin Fields.
All right, he's going to have a field day.
Hey!
All right, Bigz. After you chuckle that one off, tell everybody what we're doing and where you can find all of our great content.
I will do that, and just in time. FantasySportsAdvice.com is where you want to go and do all the things. Watch our shows, buy our merch. Check me out. Breakfast with Bigz, 8:30 a.m. West Coast, 11:30 a.m. East Coast. Our Points After Thursday show, our weekend wrap-up and waiver wire show on Tuesdays. Spilled Coffee, all of the content that is available to you on FantasySportsAdvice.com. It's all good stuff, and we'd like to have you here.
Yeah. So,
and we hope you win.
We hope you win, folks.
We hope you win.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.